I stole the title of this video from the ASA webpage for YouTubers because it's amazing, both very YouTubey and threatening at the same time. Like, comment, and comply! Alright, this is Nemo. He's one of my cats. He's very cute, but he does have a tendency to sneak into other people's houses and steal the food from their cats, and possibly their dogs, and maybe from their fridges if he could work out how to open them. He can already open cupboards. It's a problem. But this is not an ad for Nemo because I am not selling him. No. Nobody is paying me to talk about how cute my cat is, except insofar as you're watching this video with ads on the front and I'm getting a cut of those. But anyway, Nemo. He is a good boy. Sherlock is also a very good boy. But, is this video in itself an ad? Let's find out together. I made a short/TikTok about how I had received some emails over the summer, and one of them was from a candle company offering me free candles with no strings attached. But yes, I am going to make the joke again about how candles always come with strings attached, because that's what a wick is. Look, it was a good joke. I thought it deserved another airing. The other email of note was from a publishing house who offered me an influencer box. And so I made a video discussing what I should do in response to this offer, because instant uncomfortable feelings. Now, my instinct was immediate yes to stringless candles and immediate no to influencer box, but gut instinct is not really a sound legal basis on which to create a policy for the channel, so I thought I'd do some research instead. If you're thinking, Jill, your YouTube channel has over 500,000 subscribers, surely you've run into people offering you free stuff before this? The answer is not very much, actually. I have received a handful of free ebooks, mostly from people who wanted to be sponsors on the channel, but when I read them, either I didn't particularly care for them or I didn't think that they fit the vibe of the channel. I did once get a message on TikTok from a company saying, hey, we'd like to send you a box of free product that I had mentioned on my TikTok. To which I responded, thank you so much for your message. Here is the email address of my agency and they will discuss my rates with you. Crickets. And while I have done paid sponsorships in the past, the rules on those are pretty clear. You disclose that it's a sponsored video right up front, and then before you start the sponsored section, you say it again. I live in the UK, where ads are governed by the ASA, the Advertising Standards Authority, but is this an ad or not? And if so, how do you disclose it? Let's find out, if you will permit me a couple of quotes. Obviously, if you're paid by a brand to post a particular piece of content, that counts as payment, but any incentive, even if it's not money, counts as payment for any resulting content. This includes being given products for free, whether requested or unsolicited. It doesn't matter if there was no obligation to post about free items or services received, it still counts as payment and needs to be disclosed. So my commenters were generally correct that if I received something for free and I talked about it, I would need to disclose that I received it for free, which I have done on the one occasion that happened, so far so good. Back in June I got an email from an author who said, hi, I heard you like books, I have a book, would you like to read my book for free? And I said, sure. And then I read the book, and then I made a short about something which I had learned having read the book. And in the short I said, I got given a copy of this book, which was Lord of the Shattered Land, for free, and also it's a good book. So because I disclosed up front that I got the thing for free, and since nobody otherwise paid me to say it or had any control over what I said, I think that is sufficient, especially because it wasn't the point of the video. The video was about something else. But it seems like most of the guidelines for influencers are for Instagram photos with hashtags in them, or Facebook posts, or videos where the whole thing is an ad. But this is YouTube, and the ASA has a specific set of guidelines for YouTube which are entitled, like, comment and comply. Now, I think mentioning a thing that I mentioned previously doesn't necessarily count as an ad, but let's do a thing that actually would count as an ad. If I were to say, I'm wearing my Just Stab Me Now hoodie and you should buy the hoodie, or some other thing that is in my merch shop, like the mugs you can get with the Sword Lady Books logo on them, which I think look very cool. I would post a picture of my mug when I get it, but then I would have to label it ad. Now if I hadn't said that that was advertising content before I did it, then technically I would have needed to do something like put hashtag ad on the screen. But since I did tell you it was advertising content before I started, I guess we're okay? But it surprised me that you have to label something as an ad if you're clearly selling your own merchandise. I would have thought that was implied, but apparently I'm wrong. The ASA does not suggest that if I mention my own merch for a minute in a video, which is significantly longer than a minute, that the whole video needs to be labeled as an ad, which is good. But I think it's going to be good practice going forward for me to make sure that I tick the "this contains product placement" box if I'm talking about my merch in videos, because that is product placement. It's just the person who's being paid is me, and the person doing the paying is also me. I guess? This has been me being not a lawyer and trying to work this out, and none of this should be considered legal advice. Regardless, having done all this research, I came to the conclusion that I will not be doing influencer boxes, and I will tell you why. If I got an influencer box and I decided to open it on camera, that's an ad. If the whole video is the unboxing, that video needs to be marked as an ad. If it's just part of a longer video, that part of it needs to be marked as advertising content. Let me be abundantly clear here. If I am advertising your product or service on camera, we have two options. It is either one, I really like your product or service and I think other people in my audience would like it too, and so I am doing so off my own back for free without your input at all. Or two, you're paying me the going rate. And I will disclose it as such. I'm not going to promote you in exchange for a box of tat. And I don't even mean tat in a pejorative way, like the items in it were going to be really nasty. I'm sure they're very nice, but I'm moving house quite soon. I do not need more items in my life. Let's just go for some real financial transparency here. I charge companies more than I charge indie authors, but we're going to talk about indie authors because I like doing those, right? Even though they're significantly less money for me. If an indie author comes to me and says, I have this book, I would like a 30-second spot on your channel. And I read the book and I'm like, oh yeah, I really like it and I think it's a fit for the channel. That is $1,500. That is well below my actual market rate. If you send me a box containing $150 worth of stuff and you expect even a 30-second unboxing of it, you're offering to pay me 10% of my deliberately low rate that I use for people who don't have a lot of money but do have really good books that I like. If you're a company, you pay more than that for a 30-second spot. If you want a 60 or 90-second spot, which is more usual for sponsor reads, you pay more than that. Either I will decline the stuff and thus not have the stress, or I'll take the money and do the work. Money pays my mortgage and money pays my food bills. Cool merch does not. So that is where we are. And ultimately, I do not want to rely too heavily on sponsorships as a major income stream for the channel. Like, I'm absolutely happy to do sponsorships, but, you know, sponsorships go through dry seasons, adpocalypses happen. It's a bad idea to rely too heavily on one particular stream of income when you are a YouTuber because things happen. The best way to support the channel, should you want to do that, is either through Patreon or channel memberships. YouTube channel memberships are obviously more convenient and you get a little badge, but I get more of the money if you do it via Patreon. If you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then the best way to do that is either super thanks, where you just give me money for whatever, or by buying some merch or by pre-ordering my book. And the best way, incidentally, to support the channel, if you don't have any money to spare, that's totally fine, a lot of people do not right now, is to watch the videos that you think you would like and then share them with other people who you think might like them. Never underestimate the power of that, that's actually very helpful. Anyway, those are my feelings on influencer marketing. Please feel free to share yours down in the comments. I wanted this to be as transparent as possible because this sort of thing can get exploitative and icky very fast. So I'd like to avoid that, really. So in conclusion, is this video an ad? No, but does it contain advertising content? Yes, yes it absolutely does. And now you know as much about this topic as I do, which maybe still isn't very much, but you know what? We tried. And there is a small chance that the ASA will end up seeing this video and someone will come into the comments to clarify. I mean, stranger things have happened.